Detroit basketball.
Pistons fans, what are we doing, man? Like, what are we doing, fan base? So, in today's video, we got to talk about John Wall. So, we all saw the reports. We all got the notifications on our phone. The Rockets are officially trading John Wall to another team. So, many teams were thrown in the mix, and one of the teams, for some reason, were the Detroit Pistons. Actually, it was a reporter who threw the Pistons into that deal. So, actually, let me put the image on the screen right now and read this to you guys. So, it says, the Rockets have been fielding offers for John Wall, including from the Clippers, Heat, and Pistons, per Mitch Lawrence. Okay, so that's basically where this all started at. Mitch Lawrence put the Pistons in the deal for possible teams trading for John Wall. And then I wanted to see what the fan base of the Pistons said about this. So I went in the comment section and I looked around and I tried to see what people were saying. And there were actually some ones who took this seriously and really believed that we're going to make this type of deal. Put the image on the screen right now. Wall in Detroit, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Pistons should trade Killian Hayes for John Wall, get a mentor for Cade Cunningham. Like, this is the type of stuff that's ridiculous. Now, thankfully, most of the fan base, majority from what I've seen, has put logic to this and sees that trading for someone like John Wall is ridiculous. You know, trading Killian Hayes for John Wall for the veteran leadership is straight ridiculous. If you want a veteran, you simply could have went out in free agency and could have signed a veteran point guard, or you could have traded it for one. We just traded Sekou. We could have traded Sekou in a second round pick or multiple second round picks for a veteran point guard if that's what we wanted. But no, the Pistons didn't do that. They didn't trade for a veteran point guard and they didn't sign a veteran point guard in free agency. So trading Hayes for John Wall, that's not happening. It doesn't sound smart. It's not a good deal. And actually, like, didn't we go through this whole song and dance already before? Remember when we had Blake Griffin on the team and we had the rumors of trading Blake Griffin for John Wall back then? And I believe that's when John Wall was still in the Washington Wizards. You know, this ridiculousness of trading for John Wall has been going on for a while now. I just don't get it, man. John Wall, you know, all respect to him. He used to be my favorite player in the NBA at one point in time. I believe one of my first videos was actually on John Wall. But at this current time, John Wall entering his early 30s. In a few years, he's going to be in mid 30s. He averaged 20 points per game last year on 7 assists, so he did have a successful season on the Rockets. But then again, when you're on a bad team like the Rockets, you know, guys instantly put up big numbers, big stats. Look at Jeremy Grant and the Pistons last year. The Pistons were bad, so Jeremy Grant put up a lot of big numbers and big stats. Now, that's not to take away from those guys. You know, they're still both pretty good players, but the numbers that John Wall put up, the 20 and 7, that's not really a real representation of who he is as a player right now. Same goes for Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is a really good player, but his numbers were inflated last year because he was the best player on the Pistons. He got to put up a lot of shots, so Jeremy Grant's numbers were inflated as well. But they're both still really good players. Now, as far as John Wall goes, he can still drive to the hole and attack. He's still a really good playmaker at this current time in his career. He still has his handle. You know, John Wall, obviously not what he used to be, not the explosion that he used to have, not the highlight plays. You know, he's not John Wall anymore. He's not top of the league John Wall. He's just a guy right now who's a starting point guard. So when you look at his contract and you look at his age and injury history, it just doesn't fit a team, a rebuilding team like the Detroit Pistons. If you're going to trade John Wall, you know, look at the other teams on the list. A team like the Miami Heat or a team like the Clippers, you know, teams that are competing for playoff spots, trying to make it to the championship. The Miami Heat, I know they just got Kyle Lowry, so they probably won't try to trade for someone like John Wall. But if you look at a team like the Clippers, they have Reggie Jackson. But maybe they could find some way to make a trade and get someone in like John Wall who could possibly benefit them. I don't know, but it makes more sense to me that a team like the Clippers or a team like the Heat would trade for someone like John Wall rather than the Pistons. A rebuilding team compared to championship contending teams, those teams are more likely to trade for John Wall rather than our rebuilding Pistons. So all in all, man, to sum this video up, it just doesn't make sense to trade for John Wall. For the few fans out there who were actually rooting for this, it just doesn't make sense to me. John Wall is still a pretty talented player, can still score the basketball, can still create for others, but at the end of the day, he does not fit a rebuilding team. The Rockets should trade John Wall to to a championship contending team, helping another team make the playoffs. You know, similar to a Derrick Rose situation that we had last year. We had Derrick Rose, we traded him to the Knicks made the playoffs, and Derrick Rose was a big part to the Knicks making the playoffs. So hopefully with John Wall, we have another situation like that. The Rockets trade him to a championship or a playoff contending team so that John Wall can play in the playoffs again. So Pistons fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 3K. Go subscribe to my backup channel, The Flash Joe Polo. Go subscribe to my backup channel, and I'm out.